Let's go right to Rome right now, where Pope Francis began his first morning as head of the Catholic Church by visiting Rome's largest cathedral. It was something of a humble start. He went through a side entrance for a private prayer before an icon of the Virgin Mary. You see him right there. Spent about 30 minutes in contemplation and then went outside, and you see people kissing his ring. He's not really used to it this first day. It almost seems as if he wants to shake their hands, but of course, he is going to get used to this. He is the leader of 1.2 billion Catholics right now.
He is a man who's been famous for being out amongst the poor, out amongst the people, washing their feet, so this must be a change. You may remember that last night he told those crowds packed in St. Peter's Square just after his announcement that he intended to pray to the Virgin Mary that she may watch over all of Rome. And Pope Francis told the cardinals that he plans to call on retired Pope Benedict in the next few days.
That is something else we've never seen before coming up. Pope Francis signals a new start in so many ways. We're going to speak with Cardinal Dolan in just a moment of New York. But let's start out with Josh in Vatican City. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning to you, George, and what a night, what history to have seen here as the world still reacts to the selection of Pope Francis as history's 266th Supreme Pontiff. Actually, check out this headline from an Italian newspaper, La sorpresa di Francesco, the surprise of Francis. However, judging by the reaction from the 100,000 plus people massed here in the square behind me last night, it was a surprise met by euphoria as the church enters a new era now with a new man to lead it.
This morning, as the world awoke, Pope Francis made a private visit to St. Mary's Basilica here in Rome, staying for approximately half an hour. The Vatican press office also told reporters that the new pope stopped briefly at the Casa del Clero, the residence where he had been staying in Rome prior to conclave, to fetch his belongings. Of course, his new home, the Vatican, where last night, just after 7 o'clock local time, with a plume of white smoke shot into the cold, damp night sky and the tolling of bells, the 100,000 plus faithful waiting in St. Peter's Square erupted.
Habemus Papam.
And after another hour of frenzied anticipation, Cardinal Jorge Bergoglio emerged, introduced as Pope Francis, and bowed to his people. Francis is the first Jesuit pope and the first pontiff hailing from Latin America, home to some 40% of the world's Catholics. His attire spoke to his well-known commitment to the poor in Argentina. He wore a simple wooden cross and eschewed the scarlet mozzetta past popes have traditionally worn over their white wool robes. And in his first address to his new congregation, Francis acknowledged his far-flung roots.
The duty of the conclave was to give a bishop to Rome. My fellow cardinals went and found one all the way at the end of the world, but here we are.
He offered his vision for the church's uncertain future, one grounded in brotherhood.
Let's pray always for each other. Let's pray for the whole world. May there be a great brotherhood.
And when he left the attendant masses with a simple good night,
Buonanotte e buon riposo.
a new chapter for the Catholic Church began.
He's actually a shy and humble man who later asked the crowd to pray for him. And so Pope Francis begins this new chapter, and he's off to a very busy start. Later today, he will celebrate Mass with the cardinal electors in the Sistine Chapel, where he was asked to accept the role as Pope. And then in 5 days' time, on Tuesday morning, his official inaugural Mass at St. Peter's Basilica just behind me will take place. So obviously a busy next few days for the new Holy Father.